This is KATU News at 6 on your side.
This video just into our newsroom tonight of the damage left behind at the Portland Public Schools building. 3 vehicles were set on fire along with several busted windows and graffiti. We'll have more on that investigation in just a bit. But first, we start with a live look over Portland tonight, where authorities are on high alert. The Multnomah County DA is warning against criminal activity planned for tonight. Meanwhile, additional Portland police officers are out patrolling the streets in an effort to curb gun violence and vandalism in the city. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Catherine Kissel. It's unclear what criminal activity is planned for tonight, but the DA says that his office will prosecute those who are caught being violent or destroying property. He says it will not be tolerated. At the same time, Portland police say they will have 8 additional officers out there tonight. This is in response to several community complaints to gun violence and vandalism. Meanwhile, Portland police are searching for whoever set 3 cars on fire at the PPS building. It happened early this morning, along with a lot more damage to the building itself. That's where we find K2's Allison Mechanic tonight. So, Allison, what did you find out about this damage?
Well, Catherine, it wasn't just those 3 vehicles that were set on fire. The building was also covered in graffiti, and as you can see, windows were busted out. Some of them had been covered by plywood, but if you take a look just down here, you can see every single window in the front of this building has been damaged in some way. Police tell us that no one has been arrested, but thankfully, no one was injured. The damage to the Portland Public Schools Education Service building ranges from fires to broken windows and spray paint. It was all done overnight, according to Portland police. They say the fire department responded to the building after 3 vehicles were set on fire around 3 in the morning. They believe whoever was responsible got into a fenced area and set fire to 2 cargo vans and 1 large box truck. The fire did not spread to the building. Portland Public Schools superintendent released this statement on Twitter after the vandalism. He's calling the action an attack on the city public school system, saying further, the act of violence will not deter us from our commitment to educating students, providing them meals, or any other work we are privileged to carry out every day in support of our students and families. The destruction comes the same night that Portland police said they would be adding more officers to the street to monitor vandalism. We're told in that release that they said they would be monitoring areas that are typically targeted by vandalism. This area is not one of those spaces. We will be following with police tonight to see what else, if any, damage happens. In North Portland, Allison Mechanic, K2 News.
All right, Allison, thank you. This is new tonight. We now know the names of 2 people shot and killed in the Cully neighborhood earlier this week. Portland police say that 21-year-old Jennifer Garcia and 20-year-old Charlie Bourbon Lopez were shot near Northeast Alberta and 52nd. Garcia died at the scene, and Bourbon Lopez later died at the hospital. No arrests have been made, and if you know anything about these cases, you're asked to call police. Oregon senators are celebrating the next steps of the coronavirus relief bill. It passed the Senate today by a 50-49 vote right along party lines. Senators Jeff Merkley and Ron Wyden are rejoicing the news today. Both are big supporters of the president's bill, which now heads back to the House. If the current version passes there, it will head to the president's desk. There are some key changes, though, to this relief bill. Unemployment benefits will now be $300 a week instead of $400. Those are guaranteed through September 6th. And those $1,400 direct payments will now go to people making less than $75,000 a year. Those making up to $80,000 will get smaller checks. Still, some wonder if it will be enough.
Do we get fuel this week and stay warm and not freeze to death? Or do you get food?
Political analysts expect the bill will be passed sometime next week. We want to show you video of Oregon Governor Kate Brown getting her coronavirus vaccination today. She got the J&J single-dose vaccine at the OHSU clinic in Scappoose. She says that she wanted to get her shot publicly to show that it's safe and effective. It doesn't appear that Brown qualifies for the vaccine under current eligibility groups. We have reached out to her office again to find out how she qualifies. Currently, those in Group 1A, educators, and those 65 and older are eligible. Brown is 60. The next group eligible for the shot comes up March 29th for people 45 to 64 with underlying health conditions. And we are still waiting to hear back from the governor's office tonight. As more Americans get vaccinated and the number of cases continues to decline, states have begun easing restrictions, but health officials are urging caution, especially amid some potential super spreader events. With more on this, here's ABC's Elwin Lopez.
With 3 vaccines now available in the U.S., vaccination efforts continue to ramp up. New Hampshire's Motor Speedway hosting the state's first mass vaccination event, where 11,000 residents will receive Johnson & Johnson's single-dose vaccine this weekend. The Javits Center in New York City now open 24 hours a day.
Our goal is 5 million New Yorkers fully vaccinated by June.
Data shows COVID hospitalizations are the lowest they have been since late October, but cases nationwide remain at a high plateau, topping more than 60,000 cases a day. Still, some states have begun loosening restrictions. Texas and Mississippi ending statewide mask mandates earlier this week, and Arizona's governor lifting capacity restrictions at gyms, restaurants, and other businesses.
As long as we are requiring the 6 feet of physical distancing and the mask wearing and those other things that we've put in there, we felt comfortable.
But some health experts are urging caution.
We just can't let our guard down as these vaccines are rolling out so effectively. We still haven't quite covered all the high-risk population, and we still have variants in play. So now is not the time to take our foot off the gas.
Meanwhile, there is growing concern over some potential super spreader events as thousands flocked to southern Florida for spring break. One popular bar in Fort Lauderdale has banned anyone under 23 from out of state in an effort to curb crowds.
I think it's a very creative way to try to minimize the amount of patrons that they're going to invite into their space, because right now we're still in the midst of COVID.
And in Atlanta, which is hosting the weekend's NBA All-Star Game, the league has not sanctioned any events, but there's still concern about crowds at bars and restaurants outside the arena.
This pandemic has been going on for over a year now. People are tired of staying in the house.
Some businesses in downtown Portland are facing another hurdle in the fight to stay open: noise complaints.
We have to be talking about coexistence with culture, or we're going to become a city that has none.
Now restaurants like Botanist are finding new solutions. KATU's Megan Allison is live there tonight. So Megan, what are they doing about these complaints?
Well, Catherine, the owner here tells me when they first reopened, that opened the floodgates for complaints. You can see they're on the 2nd floor in a neighborhood with apartments nearby and live music starting around this time. Now the team is adding tools like tents and monitors in an effort to control the sound.
Staff at Botanist say they're no stranger to noise complaints. They started live music outside last summer. That led to inspections from the Liquor Control Commission and requests from neighbors to turn the music down. Since then, they added sound monitors, including a digital meter, which is visible to the band, and a soundboard that allows Botanist staff to control the music. They're also working with managers of surrounding buildings to act as ears on the ground. The group Music Portland says at the city level, they're advocating for more funding to Portland's noise program to address these issues instead of police.
We've been silent for a long time, and I think residents need to remember what an urban soundscape is. You know, we've been living in near silence, but these music businesses have been closed by government fiat for over a year.
Portland police tell us most noise complaints are handled by officers asking for cooperation, and that chronic issues are handled through the Portland Noise Program or the OLCC. PPB says that comparing noise complaints from year to year, this winter actually saw a decline from the year before.
We spoke to neighbors here as well. Some say they didn't notice an issue, while others tell us they believe the tents may create an echo chamber for sound. Live in Northwest Portland, Megan Allison, KATU News.
All right, Megan, thank you. The Salem Riverfront Carousel is back up and running. It reopened today now that Marion County has improved its risk level of the coronavirus. The carousel is closed for the rest of the night, but it will reopen again tomorrow from 11 until 5. KATU's Joe English joins us now with a look at the forecast. Might not be as great a day to go out there tomorrow. You said that the rain's coming back, right,
Is
Joe?
it indoors? It looks like it was indoors.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
I haven't been out there yet. But
yeah, maybe your day out of the weekend to stay indoors rather than outdoors. Pretty nice today. Lots of sunshine, a few showers. More showers coming up for the second half of the weekend. Temperatures cooling off a few degrees as well. Here are your highs around the metro area today. 53 in Portland, 51 in Salem is all, 52 in Hillsborough. That's several degrees cooler than typical. and not even close to our record highs. This time of year, we get up around 70 degrees. There's the moisture that moved through the last 12 hours. Rain and snow showers in northeast Oregon and the Columbia River Basin. And there's some more showers off the coast. You can see that will move through, mainly to the north, though. Overnight, we have a front coming in that will bring us some light rain overnight and then more showers tomorrow, potentially even some thunderstorms, but also more snow for the Cascades. As that front comes through, it's not just bringing us the rain, but also kicking up the waves on the coast. So sneaker waves, something to watch out for. If you are on the beach or headed to the beach tomorrow, Oregon and Washington coast, Sunday afternoon into Monday, higher and sneaker waves than typical, and a high surf advisory actually for the southern coast. So that's the next storm coming in. Not really stormy, but that could do it for a while. We'll talk about what happens after that coming up in your complete forecast.
All right, Joe, we'll see you then. We have new video tonight of the moment a man was rescued after falling nearly 100 feet near Cannon Beach. It happened yesterday afternoon at Hug Point State Park. The Coast Guard says the helicopter crew got the hiker to safety after first responders on the ground said they were unable to reach him. The man was taken to the hospital, and we are still working to learn his condition. Police are investigating an explosion in northeast Portland that damaged an RV this morning. They got a report of a trailer on fire near northeast 141st and Beach Court. Smoke was seen coming from the RV, but there was no fire. We're told no one was hurt. Officers believe the explosion happened outside. A suspicious device was found, and they're asking anyone with information to come forward. Happening now, it's your chance to pay a visit to the Oregon Historical Society. It reopened today after months of being closed because of the pandemic. It will open again tomorrow from noon until 5. The executive director says that there is a lot to look forward to.
We've got one exhibit that we carried over from last year, again because of the pandemic, called Nevertheless They Persisted, which is a great title for what Oregonians have been doing this year, and it tells the story of the long fight for women getting the right to vote.
For now, the Historical Society plans to be open Saturdays and Sundays. It will also be open during the first week of spring break, Tuesday, March 23rd through Sunday, March 28th. Still ahead on KATU News at 6, another unemployment benefits cliff is approaching. What could happen to thousands of Oregonians if the House doesn't pass the president's relief plan? We are following the money tonight. Plus, you got Zoom fatigue? Well, you're not alone. Ways to give your eyes a break and your mind a rest. KATU News is on your side. If you have a story idea or you'd like us to look into something, you can email us at onyourside@katu.com and we'll check it out. KATU News at 6 will be right back.